Right friends, welcome back to Banking Awareness. True false, this is module number 8 and let us look at the first sentence. For banks with the high CASA ratio, the cost of funds will be less. This is absolutely the right sentence. For banks with the high CASA ratio, that means the banks with the more savings bank and current account deposits. Savings account and current account deposits, whatever the bank having these deposits, their cost of funds will be less. Because of the reason, this CASA ratio indicates more the profitability of the banks, because low cost deposits will be more for the banks with high CASA ratio. We discussed in detail in the lecture part, first and second modules. Please listen to them if you want much more information on CASA ratio. So the given sentence is correct. For banks with high CASA ratio, the cost of funds will be less. Absolutely correct. HFCs or housing finance companies can raise public deposits with the approval of RBI is absolutely wrong, because for housing finance companies, the regulator is the National Housing Bank. For housing finance companies, the regulator is National Housing Bank, and housing finance companies can raise deposits with the approval of National Housing Bank, because it is the regulator and the maximum time period is 10 years. If they raise public deposits, the maximum time or maximum duration is 10 years, please don't forget. So please correct the sentence. HFCs can raise public deposits with the approval of National Housing Bank. Working group under the chairmanship of Deepak Mohanty suggested changes to make credit pricing more transparent, which resulted in the evolution of base rate. Absolutely correct. Prior to 2010, the system in vogue was benchmark prime lending rate or BPLR. BPLR was not transparent. Subsequently, Deepak Mohanty committee was nominated to look into the mechanism, and subsequent to the recommendations of Deepak Mohanty committee, base rate was brought into existence, replacing BPLR in the year 2010. Absolutely right sentence. LAF operations, liquidity adjustment facility operations, help the RBI to effectively transmit interest rate signals to the market. Absolutely right sentence. Liquidity adjustment facility, that is repo rate and reverse repo, these two are called liquidity adjustment facility or LAF rates. So this LAF operations help the RBI effectively transmitting interest rate signals to the market. Depending on the repo rate, the entire interest rate mechanism in the call money market and overall interest rates will depend on this repo rate, because marginal standing facility rate and bank rates are also linked to repo rate. So generally it gives a signal to the market with regard to the interest rate structure, right? Given sentence is absolutely correct. As per the MSME Act 2006, MSME Act, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Act of 2006, which differentiates between micro enterprise, small enterprise and medium enterprise depending on the investment. We have learnt about the investment figures in the lecture part. So and so investment for so and so category. So micro, small and medium enterprises, they are differentiated separately for manufacturing as well as for services. And while calculating the differentiation, the cost of land and buildings should not be included. So the given sentence is absolutely correct. Look into the next one. ECB facility is not available for NBFCs. Absolutely right. NBFCs, external commercial borrowing facility is not available. They cannot borrow money from the foreign land. So NBFCs cannot access money from the foreign land. At the same time, SARFAESI Act. SARFAESI Act is meant for recovery of bad loans in the banking system. So SARFAESI Act is not applicable for NBFCs. So NBFCs sometimes talk about level playing field with banks. So external commercial borrowing is not available. SARFAESI Act is not applicable for NBFCs. So please don't forget, NBFCs are at slightly disadvantageous state when it comes to this ECB or SARFAESI Act. Is headquartered in New Delhi, not Mumbai. So NHB headquarters is in New Delhi, SIDBI headquarters is in Lucknow. Please don't forget. So please correct the sentence. NHB headquarters is in Delhi. Term loans are sometimes called revolving credit. Absolutely wrong. Term loans are not revolving credit. Revolving credit is taking money up to the limit given by the bank, then paying back, taking the money, paying back, taking money, paying back. So if you want the example, that is the overdraft facility, cash credit facility, credit cards, these are all examples of revolving credit. So please correct the sentence. This overdraft is revolving credit. Similarly, cash credit is revolving credit, and credit card payments are also comes under revolving credit, but not term loans. Term loans means these are the loans given at once. There is no revolving involved here, and at once they will be given and you are required to pay back at regular intervals. That is a term loan. But revolving credit is bank will give the limit, and up to the limit you can access bank's funds. Take loan, pay back, take loan, pay back, right? Look into the next sentence. Government securities consist of government promissory notes and bearer bonds. Absolutely right sentence. These are government securities, government promissory notes as well as bearer bonds. MICR is a must for image processing in CTS. MICR is a must. Magnetic ink character recognition. This is a 9-digit code that is required for transacting checks, and IFSC code is a must for NEFT and RTGS. Please don't forget. Payment against check can be withheld if the drawer dies before the actual payment is made by the bank. Before the actual payment is made by the bank, if the drawer dies. Drawer means whoever is issuing the check, he is also maker of the check, he is signing the check. If he dies before the payment is made to the payee, then banks can stop payment. So the given sentence is absolutely correct. Poor asset quality leads to lesser profitability of banks. Absolutely right sentence. Poor asset quality. Assets means loans for the banks, and when the loans are poor quality, they are not servicing, they are not paying back, lot of money is overdue, gross NPAs are more. Under those circumstances, definitely profitability will be less. So the given sentence is absolutely correct. Poor asset quality leads to lesser profitability of banks. Look into the next one. ECB holders will have currency risk if the value of rupee depreciates against foreign currencies. Absolutely right sentence. External commercial borrowing. If a firm has borrowed money from the foreign land, if our currency depreciates, then the company will be the loser. That's why, to prevent the risks associated with currency volatility, they will hedge the foreign exposure, right? Normally, to reduce the risks associated with foreign currency exposure, those risks will be hedged by the companies who took foreign loans, right? So the given sentence is absolutely correct. The minimum amount which can be accessed under marginal standing facility is rupees 1 crore. Absolutely right sentence. The first defense for the shortfall of money on day-to-day basis is liquidity adjustment facility. If that is exhausted, then the second line of defense is marginal standing facility in the banking system. So banks can access in rupees 1 crore and its multiples. So the minimum is rupees 1 crore which banks can access under marginal standing facility. loans cannot be granted against the certificate of deposits and the banks can buy back their own certificate of deposits before maturity is absolutely wrong. This is loans cannot be granted against the certificate of deposits is correct, but banks cannot buy back their own certificate of deposits before maturity. So banks borrowed money by issuing certificate of deposits and they cannot buy back till the maturity. So out of these two sentences, first one is correct, second one is wrong. So please correct it. Banks cannot buy back their own certificate of deposits before maturity. Look into the next sentence. Normally, retail investors in capital markets are the investors who invest up to rupees 2 lakhs. Normally, the retail investors in capital markets are the investors who invest up to rupees 2 lakhs. If anyone is investing in the stock market up to rupees 2 lakhs, he will be categorized as retail investor. Please note that the given sentence is correct. All the scheduled commercial banks except regional rural banks and local area banks are eligible to issue certificate of deposits. Absolutely right sentence. Local area banks and regional rural banks are not allowed to issue certificate of deposits. The logo of RuPay consists of red and green colors. Absolutely wrong. The logo of RuPay devised by NPCI consists of orange and green colors. Right? In case the customer is declared insolvent by the court of law, if the court declares that the customer is insolvent, customer of a bank is insolvent. If a person is having account with the State Bank of India and the court declared the customer as insolvent, and in that case the rights of the account lies with official assignee. Court will nominate an official assignee and the account rights will lie with the official assignee but not with the customer. So the given sentence is absolutely correct. Banks have got no role to play in white label ATMs. Absolutely right sentence. Banks have got no role and it is the responsibility of the financial company whichever is operating these white label ATMs. They may have tie up with some bank for cash management, that is different story, right? Deposits of rupees 1 crore and above are known as the bulk deposits. This is absolutely right sentence. The deposits in the banking system, rupees 1 crore and above deposits are called bulk deposits. Please don't forget. The interest rates on housing loans are generally more than that of corporate loans. Absolutely wrong. The interest rates on house loans are generally less than the corporate loans. The interest rates on house loans are generally less than the corporate loans because of the reason the risks associated with house loans are less in comparison to the risks associated with corporate loans. And please don't forget, whenever risks associated with the loan are more, the interest rate will be more. That's why the interest rate on personal loan is more than corporate loan and the interest rate on credit card transaction is still more. And when the loan is unsecured, then the interest rates will be very high. So please don't forget these points. So please correct this sentence. The interest rates on housing loans are generally less in comparison to that of corporate loans. Look at the last sentence. For fixed deposit accounts, TDS is resorted to by the banks if the interest income is more than rupees 10,000 in a financial year. Absolutely right sentence. In a financial year, if the interest income on fixed deposit is more than rupees 10,000, then banks will resort to tax deduction at source or TDS. This is applicable for fixed deposits and recurring deposits. As we have already discussed, it is not applicable for savings account deposits, right? And with regard to the details, please listen to the lecture part. We discussed and deliberated in detail with regard to TDS and form number 15G, 15H, form number 16 and all those things. Right? With this, let us conclude module number 8. Please do join for module number 9. Have a nice day. Thank you.